Where can you pick up great information about vehicles of all sorts, from trucks like this to sports cars? Well, by becoming a subscriber to the Audrain Museum Network. Hit that subscribe button right now, hit the bell icon to be notified when we put up great new content, and we'll carry you wherever you need to go. It's clear to see the automotive influences in the design of this truck. Just a few years before, you would never have seen things like the double blisters on the hood or this fender line in a truck. And it's also the time that the manufacturers looked to widen the fenders so that you had enveloping fenders in the front, and occasionally with the step side truck, you still had the inset for the practicality, but you also had a wider fender. But pretty soon, all trucks would have a smooth side, which presages the modern trucks of today, and what they used to call at the time a fleet side truck. Also the fact that you would not see a work truck, generally with white wall tires like this, and the overall effect of this truck in this wonderful bright blue color, again, typically an automotive color, not a truck color, can really tell you what GM was thinking about in the late 1950s when it came to merchandising their trucks to a totally new audience. Vintage pickup trucks became a thing a little while back, and the interesting thing about it was the fact that despite the great look of a lot of vintage pickup trucks and the wonderful nostalgia associated with a much simpler time in rural environments, the truth of the matter is that vintage pickup trucks, most of them were not very well suited to use in the modern world. And so many of these beautifully restored cosmetically trucks were actually resto mods with modern engines and suspensions and all of that, so that you could actually drive them for more than a half an hour and over 35 miles per hour. The vehicle I'm driving right now is an exception to that rule. This is a 1957 GMC 100 pickup, and it has been restored as stock condition. Now, one of the reasons why that's possible with a truck like this is because the 57 was the first time that GMC offered a V8. So now you've got performance that you can count on in a way that we're more used to today and much more usable in a modern setting. Now, it was also a fact that the truck market was very competitive, and Ford, of course, had been offering an overhead valve V8 for a number of years in their F-Series pickup, and GM had to follow suit. So the answer was this 120 horsepower V8 engine, and it is absolutely astonishing to think about, of course, how far pickups have come. They are now the everyday car for many people, if not most in the country. And this is the first that you really get the sense that this is a car that you don't just have to use on the farm, but you can actually take into the city, and not just for church. It really has a great feel. I fell in love a number of years ago with a 1937 GMC truck that I was doing an appraisal for a client on, and it was just absolutely amazing. And it was totally stock, second owner, two-owner truck. But the reality was that it really was definitely something that you did not want to spend a lot of time in or drive very quickly. Now, having said that, this truck has performance that you can use today. Make no mistake, this is not a modern vehicle, and the difference in car technology and truck technology in 1957 was vast. So this still has a very sharp suspension, lots of diving and rocking, but it has a level of comfort that can only have been imagined in a work vehicle a few years previous. There's also a great look to these trucks. They're looking to incorporate more car-like design cues, and this feels like a 1950s GM automobile in so many ways, aesthetically. But the reality is that the interior shows the fact that this is designed to be a work vehicle. No upholstered surfaces. Everything is painted, metal, and it's all the better for that, frankly. It's sort of like when you see a roadster of some sort, a British or Italian roadster with deep, luxurious carpeting in it. You know the car is designed to get wet, and you don't wet carpet. So just like this, you want something that you can hose off and clean up to go to town in without too much effort. Now, this is also not a sports car. As you can see, going around turns is not necessarily its forte, but nevertheless, it provides a really fascinating look back, and in a way that we can enjoy today. Whenever we can enjoy a vehicle in the manner in which its manufacturer intended, to me it's always the better thing to do. I don't have an objection if you modify the mechanicals in a truck from the 1930s that you want to use on a regular basis, but I still prefer that rather than put the vehicle into our time, put yourself into the time of the vehicle. And for those who are just used to the modern GMC or Chevy or Ford or Ram pickups, a journey in this is to really remind everyone where they came from. And there's nothing that quite beats getting back to roots. Not for everyone, but if you can connect yourself to this, it can be really, really a lot of fun.